Ladies and gentlemen, one of the reasons that you should watch this channel and especially get this segment viral is because I'm going to give you a unique vantage point, or perhaps a viewpoint that isn't being addressed, or that isn't usually addressed, because I have a somewhat unique view of politics. Having been a lifelong Democrat, I used to be the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. I used to be the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. That's before I realized that the entire left is one gigantic, pathetic racket. I became a supporter of President Trump because he does things that other presidents were too afraid or too incompetent to achieve. First president to step foot in North Korea, to begin détente between North and South Korea. President Moon Jae-in of South Korea, amazing man, stated that Trump deserved the Nobel Peace Prize. I think he knows more about what's taking place in the Korean Peninsula than any pundit or apoplectic liberal. He stated that Trump deserved the Nobel Peace Prize. President Trump has reversed U.S. foreign policy. He opposes and has opposed the Lincoln Project for 4 years. These are the primary reasons I voted for President Trump, in addition to First Step Act, prison reform legislation, allocating more funding to historically black colleges and universities than any president ever, signing an executive order combating anti-Semitism on college campuses that's running rampant, utilizing the definition of anti-Semitism from the IHRA. We can go on forever. Peace deals between Israel and its neighbors, Serbia and Kosovo. And President Trump has had more achievements that are lasting and that will be part of his legacy than President Obama did in 8 years. But I can go on and on. But this is a respectful rebuttal to people who say, "Oh my God, he caved." What do you want this man to do? He would have been crucified had he not signed the bill. And there are people who, because it has been a decision, it's been a self-induced economic depression or recession. Democrats, liberals have fueled the belief that we need to destroy our entire economy in order to save lives. So, what do you want President Trump to do? Of course, there's a great deal of superfluous pork barrel, spending within the bill, and of course, $600. This should have been $2,000. But what do you want him to do? Now, you have Pelosi, who did not want to play ball with Republicans, and who knew that the president had to sign a bill. So it was the Democratic Party who waited this long to negotiate and to offer a bill that would be acceptable to McConnell. But McConnell passed it. Finally passed it. So when they were blaming Trump for something that was Pelosi's fault. Pelosi is the one who pushed, along with Democrats, for nationwide shutdowns. Then they say, "Oh well, we're gonna help you out." They pushed for the economy to basically grind to a halt. You have record high unemployment in primarily Democratic-run states, because you have much lower unemployment in red states. Gee, I wonder why. And if you look at the New York Times statistics pertaining to the pandemic, the worst outcomes, 8 of the top 10 or 7 of the top 10 in aggregate lives lost are in Democratic-run states. 8 of the top 12 in terms of per capita, highest per capita rates are in Democratic states, according to the New York Times. Go look at their statistics. I've been reporting on that every 3 times a week for the past 5 months on this channel. The Democrats have presided over the worst outcomes and have the worst economies within this country. But what did you expect Trump to do? So, do I have a critique of President Trump here and there? Sure. I would rather him not, in the past 4 years. I love his personality generally, I really do. But it would be nice if he perhaps didn't go back and forth with, critic who, a female critic, or somebody who goes after him who's a woman, I'd rather him not. Maybe it's a chivalrous or, an old school type of mentality that you just don't go back and forth, at least in a public forum, with a female. But see, again, President Trump is completely equal opportunity with the interactions he has with people. If they poke him, if they go after him, he's going to go after the person that goes after him. He's a counterpuncher, but again, that's just one minor, critique. So it's not like, and that's not with anyone. That's just with women. I would rather he had not engaged in a back and forth with women who went after him. But that's just an example. Generally, I think President Trump's fantastic. But I have some critiques of President Trump here and there. But this is not one of them. This is not one of them. What do you expect this man to do? Everything that takes place is his fault. Everything that takes place is his fault. The pandemic is his fault, even though Cuomo and Whitmer and Murphy and Pritzker and all the Democratic governors presided over the worst outcomes, and they didn't listen to Trump, and they attacked Trump all the time. And but it was all his fault, even though Cuomo in March of this year stated the outcomes or the risk remains low for the people of New York. Well, that the opposite, unfortunately, was true. It was the epicenter because of a person like Cuomo, the worst governor. He had the most incompetent, inept response. Just look at the New York Times statistics. New York leads in per capita and aggregate lives lost for this pandemic, according to the New York Times. It's the epicenter on the planet. And in March, he said there's no reason for undue anxiety. He tweeted that out. It's not Trump's fault. This, too, is not Trump's fault. But what do you expect him to do? Not sign the bill? Yeah, there's wasteful spending. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of needless studies based on, left-leaning academic, principles or, studies that perhaps were influenced by a more left-leaning ideology in countries around the world. I mean, that's just a couple of things I read about the wasteful spending. But you wanted him to just veto the bill, so A, people then don't get money that they need because Democrats shut down the economy, and B, he gets blamed for it, and then C, it's actually not good for the movement that he created, because you'll have media and everybody on the planet converging and saying, well, wait a second. There should have been more money. There should have been less wasteful spending, but it's too late now. McConnell already passed it. So then they would say, well, Mitch McConnell passed it. So don't get upset with Trump. Get upset with Mitch McConnell or Republicans in the Senate or Republicans in Congress. Or Republicans in Congress for not pushing back on or not supporting President Trump when he said he wanted the economy to open up. Where were the Republicans stating, where were the conservative voices? Not just in Washington, not just politicians, but writers. I mean, we have journalists who've been saying open up the economy. But that should be the primary focus of, conservatives, Republicans. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I voted for President Trump for the accomplishments that I mentioned in the beginning of this segment. Is he perfect? No. I mentioned just one thing I disagree with him on. But he's accomplished more in 4 years than President Obama did in 8 years, and definitely more than Bush did in 8 years, and more than Clinton in 8 years prior. He did more in 4 years than 21 years. Can you name a lasting accomplishment from Bill Clinton? What, repealing Glass-Steagall? Oh, fantastic. What's a lasting accomplishment from Bush? ruining the lives of millions throughout the world, in the Middle East especially. What's a lasting accomplishment from President Obama? Destroying Libya? The Iran deal with 23 ballistic missiles? That's not a good thing. That we're actually it wasn't even against the deal. President Trump has had lasting peace deals now, to be peace deals that are going to last, like the beginning of détente that is going to lead towards a future of peace, hopefully very soon, between North and South Korea. We used to hear about Kim Jong-un every day in the news. We don't anymore. That's because of President Trump and Moon Jae-in and what they accomplished. Prison reform legislation, allocating more funding to historically black colleges and universities than any president ever, reversing U.S. foreign policy. So now there's a shift towards bringing home Americans, which liberals, by the way, want them to stay forever because they think it's Germany and Japan. There are still counterinsurgency conflicts that our soldiers are mired within. We need to bring them home. This was never what anyone signed up for. A never-ending presence in countries that do not, where even the legislatures in Iraq voted us out. We could stay there 200 years, and the 200th year, it would be the same thing. Oh my goodness, we can't leave now. But that wasn't how any of this. What were we supposed to remain forever in Syria because President Obama sent us there? It was Trump who reversed that. What I'm trying to say is, what do you expect Trump to do? Right now, around Christmas time, around the holiday season, that he just says, no, you know what, McConnell and Pelosi, I'm not going to sign it. Keep working on it. And if you don't ever get a bill, oh well. Unemployment benefits were going to run out. There was going to be a government shutdown. They would have crucified President Trump. And everything that he tried to accomplish, special counsels, investigations for the next 4 years that need to happen, that would have been jeopardized. So, it's like, I don't understand. Like, you can critique President Trump, fine, but not for this. My God Almighty, what did you expect him to do? Just not sign it? I know that there are people saying, yeah, I didn't want him to sign it, but it's good that he did, because whatever you don't like about this relief package or the bill or the hundreds of billions that are going to places or hundreds of millions that are going to places like building like museums and all. That's for McConnell. The Democrats, are going to spend that money. But that's for McConnell and Republicans to deal with. If you're upset with Trump signing this, you're upset at the wrong person. You should be annoyed with the Republicans who signed off on this, not the president. This man, ladies and gentlemen, has gone through 92% negative media coverage. 92%, and he's overcome intelligence operatives trying to undermine him and oust him from the presidency. He's a bogus impeachment, a sham and racket of an investigation with Mueller, which was predicated only on information purchased by Democrats, the Steele dossier, a third-party tech firm, CrowdStrike's assessment, literally purchased their claims without evidence for 4 years. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. There's nothing. I just don't know. So what would be the game plan here? He vetoes the bill, and then what? And then people, can't afford food throughout the country, and people who rely. Look. It was Democrats who forced this country to grind to a halt, not Republicans. Trump initially did what he had to do, and then Democrats said, no, we have to continue with the shutdowns. It's indefinite. Who knows when? Who cares? That's their mentality. They will not give you an end date, by the way, for when life can return to normal. They will not. Okay? And I can go into exactly why life should return to normal, but I won't. Not normal 100%, but at least you can live and have a functioning economy with safety protocols. So, you can engage in safe and, adhere to the science, but also maybe God forbid, I know it's blasphemy among the left, but maybe just work and have a functioning economy while at the same time adhering to science. Does science want everyone homeless? I don't know. Science seems to really be allergic to economic progress or an economy that's functioning. But that's not President Trump's fault. So give me your thoughts below. I mean, you can critique Trump. There's a lot to critique President Trump on here and there. There's a lot to critique. Well, there's a lot more to critique President Obama on. Just look at what he did to Libya. Private servers with top secret intel. Are you kidding me? That didn't happen under President. There's no comparison between the scandals that weren't obsessed over in President Obama's administration, the legitimate concerns and legitimate controversies, like having servers outside of the United States government, and then, oh my goodness, the Russian cozy bears attacked us again. It's like, well, you had servers outside the U.S. for 4 years. Then you had Caligula, Biden's son, with a laptop he left just at a computer repair store. They're walking cybersecurity risks. Then you had Swalwell, who fell in love with a foreign operative. I mean, these people are like a foreign intelligence agency's wet dream. Okay? But again, everything is Trump's fault. So I mean, like, what did you want him to do? He would have been he would have been blamed for everything. And we need to open back our economy. We need to open back and get America back on track, back working again. And the Republicans have been pretty much silent as a political party on this. And this is why Lin Wood and Sidney Powell are right. This is why Lin Wood is right. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Lin Wood. You want to know why he's right? Because the Republicans are silent. They're completely impotent. They're so petrified of MSNBC and CNN and the Washington Post and the New York Times. Speak, Republicans. Do you have a voice? My God. Like, so many are just gutless and just go along. And then you have the Ben Sasse and Mitt Romney. Only 10% of the Republican Party are run by Ben Sasse, Mitt Romney type people. But unfortunately, they're the ones who get the most press coverage. And Republicans don't speak with one voice. Democrats speak with a singular laser focus on whatever the propaganda spin is. Republicans just react and, So, I mean, what did you expect Trump to do? Also, delay the bill and have Mitt Romney and Ben Sasse tell the world how horrible he is for vetoing the bill? And Trump did the right thing. Give me your thoughts below. Plus, the people need the money right now because Democrats have pushed for the economy to grind to a halt, and Republicans have stood by and allowed this to happen. Give me your thoughts. Hit subscribe right now. Thank you.